What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. With that being said, man, I want to speak on some comments that Jason Whitlock made about Shedeur Sanders, right? Basically saying that Shedeur Sanders has a low IQ and lacks leadership skills, right? And I'm going to play the audio from his podcast and then come back and add my input. But first I want to push back, right? Because I think that leadership is like leadership is more than just physical ability. Some people think that, if you are a great if you're a great athlete, then you qualify to be a leader. But I think like leadership is like a skill that needs to be learned. And so you have Shedeur Sanders, who only, he just finished his first start at the NFL level, right? And I think that, I think he's still a work in progress when it comes to leadership. It'll come through experience, and he just will, gain the confidence and then also the knowledge of how to handle certain situations. So I don't think that Shedeur Sanders is, I don't think he have a low IQ. I just think he's a young guy, and I do think that he has confidence. So I think that eventually he probably will, given the opportunity, or if he's fortunate enough to do well enough to continue to play, then I think he'll have, he'll develop leadership skills. But I don't think leadership skills is something that everybody is just born with, and so if they don't immediately show leadership skills, then they are somebody with a low IQ. I just don't think that. But let me play the audio from the show, and then come back and give my input.
And everybody is blaming Kevin Stefanski. He's got it in for Shedeur. He doesn't know how to communicate with Shedeur because Shedeur doesn't know how to communicate properly. His dad can understand him, Dion. That's because his dad has been with him basically 24/7 for life. But everybody else that has 53 other players or 52 other players to communicate with, Shedeur comes across like he's from outer space. And Kevin Stefanski's supposed to build everything around a fifth-round pick. I want to play you these. Do we got?
See that I don't get the point. Like, I don't get why he think that Shedeur Sanders is, he's not a good communicator. Especially I don't get it. I wish that Jason Whitlock had gave some type of example. Maybe he could play an example of poor communications.
The clip of the reporters. Yeah. No, don't we have the clip? The Cleveland radio show. Yeah, here we go. SOT 10. These young guys from a Cleveland radio show, or one of them, has it completely figured out. Play SOT 10.
Shedeur ends up next. What GM, what coach is going to want to invite your fan base, Shedeur? Not Shedeur's fault, but the fan base. What coach, what system, what GM, what ownership is going to want to bring on the personal shots? Now even Jerry Jeudy is not allowed to get an argument with his quarterback without people calling him really bad things. Really bad things.
I'm not saying anything about Jerry Jeudy.
You guys know exactly what I'm talking about, because I saw that yesterday. People putting up clips from Roots, like they're calling Jerry Jeudy that. Like, you think a lot of teams want to invite you guys to the party? No thanks. Not for a fifth-round pick that has the worst EPA in all of football per play.
Off,
nobody's going to want to invite that.
No idea about any of that.
I'll show you.
I don't even want to see it, to be honest with you. Okay, so I don't know anything about that.
Do you think any of these teams watch Shannon Sharp and all of the former players, Emmanuel Acho, taking personal shots at their moral compass? You think they're going to want that over a fifth-round pick?
The situation.
All right. So what I would have
the chubby guy on the right is just scared to death.
I would have to say about that, like like when Jerry Jeudy and Shedeur had their little blow up on the sideline. I mean, you can't really, as a team or organization, you can't really help what the fan base say. You have to coach and manage that situation according to what you know is best for the team. you can't control like what the fan base is doing. You know, I can see if Shedeur Sanders was bringing that type of, you know, if he was endorsing those type of things, and he was engaging in those type of statements and activities and stuff like that, then you could be like, you know, that's not good for the team. You know, you could speak on it, but you know, the fan base, if that's the case, if the fan base had that much leverage, then I mean, the fan base could get coaches fired or have teams not being, or they could sabotage a player. You know, so how do you know that the fan base is not trying to sabotage this kid Shedeur Sanders? So you just got to ignore that kind of stuff.
I don't even want to watch that. I don't want to know nothing about that. I don't want to comment on that. The other guy's keeping it 100% real, man. CPA, completion, what is that? Completions per attempts, or he's got one of the shortest yards per completion in the National Football League. I think that's what the guy is referencing. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. The squeeze doesn't produce much juice. Shedeur Sanders is not performing well. According to Pro Football Focus, and I know they're controversial, he's rated as through 2 starts, the worst quarterback in the National Football League.
See, this, in my opinion, I don't know if those stats are true, but let's just say for the sake of argument that those stats are true. This is why I would like, if I was the quarterback of any team or new on any team, I would just try to keep a low profile, because as soon as you don't have, as soon as you throw an interception, or as soon as you miss a wide receiver or a fumble or something, like it just get magnified and blown out of proportion. Then they bring all these stats out and stuff like this. That's, in my opinion, that's like the downfall to being somebody who is just so vocal, so outwardly let's just say outwardly confident, outwardly arrogant and stuff like that, right? That's just the downfall. But if he can handle that, if Shedeur Sanders can deal with that and deal with this, if this is something that motivates him, then that's cool. Then continue to be yourself.
I think on the field, he actually made some progress. I really do. And I know they kept training wheels on him. But their overall point is like, hey, man, all of this trouble over a 5th-round pick? All of these people that are willing to slander your name over a 5th-round pick?
I think the fact that he went in the 5th round, I think wouldn't, if I'm the coaches, is not going to factor into it. You out there on the field now, it don't matter like whether you came in the 1st round or the 5th round. You out there, with guys who came in the 1st, who showed up in the 1st round, guys who came in the 2nd, 3rd, guys who just had gotten invitations and stuff like that. So it don't matter what round you come from. You need to be able to produce. That's what matters. People keep bringing up the fact that he went in the 5th round. He need to produce, right? And then so if you produce, and then you prove that the orange is worth the squeeze, then that's basically all you have to do. You have to just make sure that the good outweigh the bad, and make sure that they see progress every week. So what round he came in my opinion, shouldn't be, now at this point, shouldn't even be a factor or even brought up.
That no one's safe, not even Jerry Jeudy. Do we have the Jerry Jeudy was yelling at Shedeur Sanders on the sidelines. He's not the first wide receiver to yell at a quarterback and to clap his hands, and he's not the first. But because it's Shedeur, it's a big deal. And now everybody.
Now, I have seen people get on wide receivers for yelling at the quarterbacks. And I made a video about this too. I just think that, and I said this in the other video, like for wide receivers to yell at quarterbacks and try to show up the quarterbacks or demand the ball or something like that, I just don't think is, in the long run, is beneficial to the wide receiver. The quarterback, if he have any kind of success, will resent that, and then the wide receiver be out on, he out on the short end of the stick. The quarterback don't have to throw you the ball, or he can limit your touches. Just keep your head down and do the best you can. Like, worry about yourself. The Jerry Jeudy the week before, like, let somebody knock the ball out of his hand at the, which was a clumsy, negligent play that he made. So Jerry Jeudy shouldn't be the one calling out Shedeur Sanders when he has the most drops of any wide receiver in the league. So why should Jerry Jeudy be the one calling out Shedeur Sanders? Like Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald played for the Cardinals, and I don't know how many quarterbacks they had while he was there, but you never seen that from Larry Fitzgerald. He just did his job. Who was the guy? Megatron. What's the guy Megatron that played for the Detroit Lions, right? I never seen that from Megatron. I don't know. I forgot his real name. It's Calvin something. I forgot. But he never did that, and you talking about two elite wide receivers who never really had the reputation of being divas or showing up the quarterbacks. Like, if anybody you would expect, it would be those two guys. But yeah, man. I just, like I said, I wanted to push back on Jason Whitlock for saying that Shedeur has a low IQ and that he's more than just a dumb. I mean, he's not a dumb jock. I just think that he got some learning to do. He definitely have some learning to do, and so that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.